AEW Double or Nothing 2021 is live this weekend. Kevin, I'm so excited to preview this show. We've got a stacked card featuring Martin Luther Cody Rhodes ending racism against Anthony Ogogo. We've got the Soul Monster versus Adrian Neville versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World title. We've got a stacked card, Kevin. Stacked.
Oh, man. Yes, we do. I gotta be honest. I gotta confess something to all of you now. I was thinking about going to the show, because as you all know, I live in Florida. So Jacksonville, it's a little bit of a drive. It's like a 4.5 hour, 5 hour drive for me. I'd have to make a weekend of it. But the thought came across my mind. And then AEW announced the main event for this card, that it was going to be Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy versus Pac. And I was like, do I really want to drive 5 hours to watch this? Is that really what I want to do with my life? I don't know. So I had to reconsider thinking about going to watch this. I was going to go make a vlog of it. Why not? Have a good time. But no. I was thinking, maybe we get Kenny Omega and, someone else, like Chris Jericho again, something. I don't know. Anything.
Yeah.
But we get Orange Cassidy, Pac, and Omega in the main event. I don't know about that one, pal.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll preview the main event in due time, but I think, without further ado, we'll just get into the predictions for this. We're not going to waste any more of you guys' precious time. So, we're going to start this off with the match that I joked about in the open. I'll be serious with addressing the match now, and then we'll just get into whatever we want to talk about. The match is Cody Rhodes, the American Dream, with Arn Anderson versus Anthony Ogogo with QT Marshall, Nick Comoroto, and Aaron Solau. So, Kevin, Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo. Are you excited? Are you pumped to see Cody Rhodes end racism? Okay.
This match the jokes write themselves. They do. I know we're having fun with this, but this is like Cody Rhodes was like in the back talking to Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks are probably just ready to rip his head off. And he's like, "Oh my God, guys, who am I gonna wrestle at Double or Nothing? I need a big match for Double or Nothing. I'm Cody Rhodes. I need a big match." And he was like, "Wait, I got the answer. It's gonna be my cousin QT Marshall." And then the Young Bucks were like, "Oh, QT Marshall's too old, blah blah blah." So he's like, "All right, I'll wrestle Anthony Ogogo. He used to be a boxer in the UK. I'll do that. He's half black. I'll try to end racism. I'll cut this promo." And they're like, "All right, Cody, do whatever you got to do." And now here we are. It's like, why? Why is this happening? He made this big deal about calling himself the American Dream.
Yeah.
That promo, I know what he was going for. I really do. I get it. He's trying to make himself the babyface, but he made himself come off like the heel in that promo.
Oh, yeah. He's cutting this, like, American freedom promo. And it's supposed to be this whole thing of like, oh my God, he's the American Dream, man. Oh my God, he's fighting off the evil Go-Go who he's come to the United States and done all this stuff. And this is the American Dream. It's just like, Kevin, I said this in the Tony Khan bio, said it in Elite Heat the week before. Cody Rhodes, when he was cutting that promo, there weren't 60,000 people lining the streets at a rally chanting, "Cody, Cody." There were 500 beards at Daly's place just sitting on their hands. And it just came off terrible. This match, Rhodes and Ogogo. Who wins it? I mean, Ogogo should win it, realistically. But Cody's the American Dream for this match. And do you really think American Dream, AEW EVP Cody Rhodes is losing this match, realistically?
No. Cody's not going to lose this match, no. In a million years, no.
No, they're going to do some spot where, like, they're having a good match for, like, 10 minutes. There's probably a bunch of interferences. QT Marshall will jump into the ring. Arn Anderson will get involved and probably hit a spine buster on QT Marshall. And there's going to be all this chaos where Dustin Rhodes will rush out there. There'll be a massive brawl. After, like, 15 minutes of overbooking, Ogogo's going to punch Cody in the gut. Cody will kick out of his finisher. And then Cody will hit him with a crossroads and win. Probably. Does that sound about right?
I'm telling you this right now. As soon as a pregnant Brandy Rhodes comes running down the stage crying and is holding Cody Rhodes' hand, trying to will him on, while Anthony Ogogo's like doing these gentle working punches because he doesn't want to hurt the EVP of the company, I'm turning off the show. I'm not even going to put it back on once that happens.
But so Kevin, you didn't want to drive 5 hours to Jacksonville to watch Brandy Rhodes crying at ringside, holding her baby bump as Cody Rhodes kicks out of a punch to the gut from an Olympic boxer. Excuse me. Like...
Oh, yeah. I know, right? Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible wrestling fan, pal.
Wow.
I didn't want to drive 5 hours to watch that.
Wow, you're just a horrible person. But yeah, nah, for this match, all jokes aside, the American Dream, Cody Rhodes, should probably go over Anthony Ogogo, considering this is his company, pal. So, Kevin, unless you want to say anything else about Cody Rhodes ending racism, we can move on to the next match.
I'll say this real quick. He is Anthony Ogogo. So, are people going to care if he beats Cody? Like, is anybody really going to care? Is it going to make Anthony Ogogo a star? Probably not. So, might as well just have Cody win.
Well, what's Cody done in the last, 6 months? Announced a reality show and then done a baby gender reveal where they were in their house and then a ball said, a baby is coming on the way. I don't know. Cody's done nothing.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like Anthony Ogogo beating this version of Cody Rhodes means nothing. If it was 2019, beginning of AEW Cody Rhodes, yeah, it would be a big deal. But in 2021, after pandemic shows where Cody was coming out cutting 15-minute promos on Warhorse and other indie wrestlers,
yeah,
it's just it won't hit the same beating him.
Yeah, facts. So that's that match. I think we went into great detail with it. Now we'll move on to the match that involves AEW's Wyatt family, Team Taz, as Brian Cage takes on Hangman Adam Page. Now, this match was done on Dynamite a few weeks back, and Brian Cage won. So, based on that, do you think Hangman Page is going to get his redemption at Double or Nothing, Kevin?
Yep, Hangman Page is going to get his redemption, and then in AEW fashion, he'll be thrown into a title match for no reason with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really much else to say. I mean, this is Team Taz. I make the AEW Wyatt family analogy. The whole thing with the Wyatt family is that talk a big game, got a great mouthpiece. In this case, it's Taz. In the Wyatt family's case, it's Bray Wyatt. Then, when it comes to winning big matches at these big pay-per-views, always come up short. Brian Cage and any member of Team Taz, do they win at these big pay-per-views? From my recollection, they don't. So, Hangman Page here, Kevin, probably beats Brian Cage in 10 minutes, and yeah, that'd be that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Taz will be screaming on commentary at Tony Schiavone. That'll be pretty funny. But yeah, in ring, is this going to be a great match? It'll probably get rated highly by people that are AEW fans. But me watching it, I can't see myself being super invested in watching Brian Cage and Hangman Page have a match. Both of these guys in ring, they're not really much of draws. Yeah. They rely on what little bit of character they have, and they're not really having a character-driven story, so there's really not much to talk about.
Well, this feels like one of these matches which, on the buy-in, they're going to have a 3-minute long, Taz breaks down the science and the analytics of the buckshot lariat kind of vignettes to it. And then I can picture this, where the match, this is one of those AEW matches, which, instead of it going 6 to 9 minutes like it probably should, this match will go 15, just so it gets a higher star rating, just so in years down the line, when you look back at this pay-per-view and the star ratings of the matches, you'll see that, this was a 4-star match because it went 15 minutes. You can't possibly say AEW's show was bad. That's this kind of match. So, with that being said, I think, Kevin, unless there's anything else you want to say about AEW's Wyatt family member losing, I think we can move on. So, with that being said, I think we'll talk about this match, Kevin. Sting and Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Now, what are your thoughts on this, Kevin?
Do we have to? Do we have to talk about this? Do we have to? Really? What is this, bro? Come on. What is this? You have Sting, who's Darby Allin's, if you do one of those memes where you have, Sting in 1990, Sting in 2020, it's like Darby Allin met his grandpa. That's basically what you have here. And then you have Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Why are they a tag team? Because, oh my, Christopher Daniels lost in an I'm Sorry, I Love You reenactment by Nick Jackson. Now Scorpio Sky doesn't have friends anymore, so they put him with Ethan Page. Yeah. What is the point of this match? Why is Sting wrestling? This is the icon Sting.
Yeah.
This is one of the, 15 most recognizable wrestlers in the world, and he's just thrown on this undercard tag match with his grandson against a guy who used to be a member of a cool stable. Now he doesn't have friends. And then, what is Ethan Page? He's a guy that had an Impact, television title reign, 2 years ago. This is the best they could do with Sting? Really? Are you kidding me? This is the best they got for Sting. You got Cody Rhodes running around practicing how he's going to end racism in a promo. Kenny Omega working on the AEW game, the mobile game, the other game they got going, hanging out with Aubrey Edwards, and you got the Young Bucks buying Jordans on the sneakers app trying to hit. That they're not even focused on what Sting is doing. You know, this is one of the most recognizable wrestlers in the world, and this is all they could do with him. This is it. Are you kidding me, bro? Come on. Just stop me before I keep going on.
Yeah, I mean, it really hit me. Like, I knew they were doing this, obviously, because I've watched a bunch of these Dynamites in the past, 2 months, where it's literally rinse, repeat, Kevin. Darby Allin retains in TNT title main event. Main event ends, show ends with Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page rushing out there, and then Lance Archer gets involved somehow. And that was legit every Dynamite ending for a month straight. So
and did Sting point his bat there, John?
Every week there, John. It was unbearable. So yeah, and then as you were doing that rant, it really did hit me to kind of reinforce what you just said there. This is one of the greatest of all time. This is Steve Borden. This is Sting. This is the guy who in 1997 was in the rafters for a year and then confronted Hulk Hogan, had one of the biggest Starrcade matches ever. This is that guy. And now he's in a tag match at a pay-per-view against Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. That's disgraceful. But yeah, Sting and Darby Allin are going to win this match. One thing I also want to say, AEW have 1,000,001 tag teams, Kevin. How is Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page the best tag team you can come up with for Allin and Sting?
Right.
Even if you want to have just any team, there are that many teams. Literally, you have the Young Bucks. You can do them being Sting, we want to end your career. We're great heels. We're going to kill you, Sting. Anything, I don't know. But instead,
where's Proud and Powerful? They're not on the card.
No, they're in the Stadium Stampede, pal, aren't they?
Right.
But there are that many. Surely there's the Lucha Bros. Anyone? What is this, bro? What is this? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. Yeah, there's not that many tag teams now that I think about it. The tag teams, they've kind of broken up, most of them, it feels like. Or guys are injured.
No, there's a lot of tag teams, but it's the Varsity Blondes, Bear Country, these type of teams, ones you've probably never heard of unless you watch AEW Dark every week. But nonetheless, that's that match. I think we can both agree Sting and Darby are going to win. Yeah?
Yes, 100%. Sting and his grandson are going to get the win, and then Sting is going to take his grandson out for dinner.
Yeah, now we're going to move on to the next match, as we have our favorite Young Bucks from Rancho Cucamonga defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
Rancho Cucamonga!
And who's accompanying them in this match, Kevin?
Oh, the invisible hand of professional wrestling, Don Callis. And I'm out there with the Bucks.
And they're taking on Dean Ambrose and Eddie Kingston. So this match, honestly, it's probably going to end up being...
Can I break this down for people in typical me fashion?
Yep.
So what you have here is you have two Shawn Michaels fans from 1995 trying to dress up as 1995 Shawn Michaels with their earrings and their boots and their jeans. And, they have Jordans. Oh, they have money. Okay, cool. They have Jordans. Nobody else in the world has Jordans. Ooh. And they're from Rancho Cucamonga. These preppy white boys, for lack of a better term. I'm not trying to be disparaging, but that's what they are.
Yep.
And then they're facing Dean Ambrose, the guy who's crazy. Crazy. From Cincinnati, I'm crazy. And Eddie Kingston, a guy who's portrayed as a gangster. He's probably the toughest guy in this company. He's probably the one guy you don't want to get in a backstage fight with, I would say. So you got Dean Ambrose and a legit tough guy facing two preppy white boys with a 60-year-old international businessman who goes around saying, I'm the invisible hand. This is what we're seeing here. And I get it. These are four of the biggest stars in AEW. This is Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, and the Young Bucks. But this is not the best version of Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, and the Young Bucks. This is Jon Moxley doing Stone Cold impressions, and then Eddie Kingston screaming and being intimidating. And then you got the Young Bucks showing their Jordans to the camera and giving dirty looks to interview girls. And while you have Don Callis and one of the other guys, the Good Brothers, looking like idiots behind them.
Right. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, just bruh. I look at this, and you know what the match is going to be, Kevin. How many Young Bucks tag match to the title have you seen? You know what this match is going to be. It's going to be 20 to 22 minutes. You're going to have the stereo super kick spots. You're going to have your stereo Canadian Destroyer spots. You're going to have the spot where they do the Meltzer driver, where Nick Jackson's going to springboard off the rope, probably slip, considering every time he does it, most of the time it seems like he slips. Or if he doesn't slip, he's barely going to touch the guy who's being pile-driven to the ground. They're going to be doing those spots. You're going to have John Moxley probably for 5 minutes beating up Matt Jackson to start the match. Then the Young Bucks will beat down Eddie Kingston for like 15 minutes, hitting stereo super kicks. Like, Kevin, my point with this match, you summarized who's involved perfectly and what you're aesthetically going to see. The match itself for 20 minutes on the show is going to be touted as the best match on the card, no doubt in my mind, just because of who's involved. But, like, you realistically look at what we're going to get, and it's like, oh, it's going to be another Young Bucks match. It's going to be just like MJF and Jericho versus the Young Bucks from Revolution, you know? Like, what's going to be different about this, you know?
Oh, this match is personal because John Moxley destroyed the Young Bucks trailer.
And John Moxley and Eddie Kingston raided the Elite's locker room last week on Dynamite, and John Moxley.
Oh, wow.
John Moxley threw a coffee table across the locker room and hit a TV there, John. Oh wow. Oh wow. Like just.
Yeah, we're gonna have the Young Bucks. They're gonna come out in their Jordans, showing into the camera. And then they're going to run around doing backflips. And they're probably going to put the belts on Moxley and Kingston. I don't really see the Young Bucks winning this match. Because I feel like Moxley and Eddie Kingston as a tag team, that's like the new flavor of the month.
Yeah.
You have people demanding them to be tag team champions. All the promos from these guys. And yeah, they're going to have great promos. But what are they going to do? Like, I would be intrigued. I mean, they would be 10 times better champions, in my opinion, than the Young Bucks would be. I think Moxley and Eddie Kingston would be great. I'd love to see a feud with them in Proud and Powerful. Because then you can have Eddie Kingston talking like a gangster to two other dudes that can relate to him. You know, it would just, the dynamic would be there. Or even you put him in there with not the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros. I just think the potential's there with Moxley and Kingston.
Yeah, like, what more can the Young Bucks do with these tag titles? Like, we've seen the Young Bucks as champions. Like, we've been there, done that. I think Moxley and Kingston, try that, give that a go. We can have a different dynamic with the tag titles. We can get these great tag matches every week where John Moxley and Eddie Kingston retain the titles halfway through Dynamite against Bear Country and JD Drake and, I don't know, whoever on AEW. We can get these great matches. So, unless there's anything else you want to say about that, Kevin, I think we can move on.
Oh, we're good.
Now, the next match is the Casino Battle Royal for a future AEW World Championship match. Now,
can I have the floor on this one?
Go,
I'm sorry,
go, my guy, go.
So you know, there's a lot of competitors, like 20 people in this match, but I want to focus on one in particular. There's one name that sticks out as a sore thumb from the rest of the bunch, and that's one Christian Cage. He is partaking in this Casino Battle Royal. I'm gonna rewind 3 months. Christian Cage was the savior of AEW and the guy that's going to change the wrestling landscape, put AEW back on the map, according to The Big Show. That was Christian Cage as a big reveal. 3 months later, at the biggest show in AEW, Double or Nothing, their WrestleMania, Christian Cage is probably going to be on the pre-show in a battle royal for a future AEW World Championship match that'll probably take place on a random episode of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we are with the Christian Cage experiment. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of those matches when you look at the participants and it's like, okay, maybe Pentagon can win and have a great match with Omega. Maybe Jungle Boy can win. But then you really think about it and it's like, oh, is anyone outside Christian Cage going to win this match? I mean, let's be honest.
I'd be shocked. I would be shocked if someone else won besides him.
Like, this isn't a future AEW World Championship match. Like, this isn't the TNT title. You're not going to have Mark Quinn win this match. You're not going to have Max Caster or Preston Vance win this match. Or Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. That's how much of a nobody he is. Literally, Christian Cage is going to win this match. They're going to do Christian Cage versus Omega in like a month from now at Fyter Fest or whatever AEW, TV pay-per-view they do. And Omega's just going to beat Christian Cage and go on with his day. So, yeah. Anything else you want to say about Christian Cage winning a Battle Royal? Or, no?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, you got Colt Cabana is here, John.
Oh, boom, boom. Boom, boom there, John. Oh, wow.
I wish Colt Cabana would have got a WWE just so I could hear Michael Cole say that.
Okay. Oh, boom, boom there, John. Oh, Corey, boom, boom. Like,
That is Boom Boom Cabana. And then you have Corey Graves remind us about how CM Punk mentioned Colt Cabana on an episode of Raw 11 years ago.
God,
I need that in my life. Oh, don't forget Matt Sydal, formerly known as Evan Bourne, John.
can I just say, when I was watching, I don't know what Dynamite this was. They all blend together at the moment. The Christian Cage did a backstage interview on Dynamite a couple weeks ago, and he's like doing his like, oh, I'm going to outwork everyone like one of these promos. Matt Sydal walks over and literally cuts one of the most dry promos I've ever heard, Kevin. Like, I've seen more charisma from a drink bottle than I've seen from Matt Sydal in this promo. Literally, I can work too. Christian, next week on Dynamite, literally, it was pathetic. So, Matt Sydal...
Can we do like... go ahead, sorry.
Matt Sydal, terrible, just awful. Anyway, go on. What do you want to say?
Can we do like 2 minutes and 30 seconds like Christian Cage again? I gotta pose this question to you.
Go on.
When did Christian Cage regret signing with AEW? What was it after Revolution? Was it after his first match on Dynamite? Was it when Tony Khan told him he's gonna have to get eliminated by Brian Pillman Jr. in a battle royal on a pre-show Double or Nothing? Like, when did Christian Cage immediately regret signing that AEW contract?
I think the moment that they had Paul White come out on the stage and announce that there's going to be a Hall of Fame level signing for AEW, and the whole wrestling world thought Brock Lesnar or CM Punk was coming to AEW, I think that was probably... It would have been one of the moments. If not, just him having these just okay matches in the middle of the second hour of Dynamite. I don't think that's the best thing for Christian, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, I imagine like Brandon Cutler, relating a message from the Young Bucks that Christian Cage is gonna have a promo segment on Dynamite with Matt Sydal, and he's just like, why did I take this contract? I should have just signed with WWE and just been a mid card guy.
Yeah, you got Christian Cage saying there. He's got like Dasha interviewing him, and then you've got like three cameramen. You got like a guy holding a boom mic with like AEW Dynamite t-shirts on, and then Matt Sydal walks over and he's like, Christian, you cannot outwork me next week on Dynamite. And Christian's probably thinking, these people make AJ Styles look like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, these people have no charisma, but nonetheless, I think I'm ready to move on now, and we're ready to move on to the next match, which I can't wait to talk about this one, as we've got Rusev defending the TNT Championship against Lance Archer with a 77-year-old Jake the Snake Roberts, Kevin. Are you excited for this one?
Is Jake Roberts actually 77?
No, I'm kidding.
I'm
kidding, my guy. I'm kidding. He's just really old. Jake Roberts is actually 65.
Wow. Still. No, I don't want to get... I just... That
in all objective... Jokes aside, it's amazing that Jake Roberts is still going strong, being on TV every week at 65. God bless Jake Roberts. Nonetheless, let's get back to the preview, pal.
Yeah, great story. Everything he's been through. If you haven't heard about his story, go find it. Miro and Lance Archer, or Rusev versus Lance Archer, as I should say. I saw people talking on Twitter like, "Oh, this is the Miro I wanted to see when he first signed with AEW." I'm not sure what he's done or hasn't done for people to say that, but so I haven't really been paying attention to him honestly since he debuted.
Right.
And his gimmick was, "Oh, I'm a Twitch streamer, bro. I'm the best man." So I'm not super invested in Miro. I like Lance Archer, but realistically, what is Lance Archer's ceiling in AEW where guys like him just don't stand a chance with this audience? Like, he's not what AEW's catering to.
Yeah, right.
So I don't really know what to make of this match. I don't. Like, last year, Double or Nothing, Lance Archer had a TNT title shot. He's literally stagnant.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of this. I really don't.
Well, because, I mean, in the hierarchy of AEW, Lance Archer just doesn't click with the top, part of AEW. He's not an Omega, he's not a Moxley, he's not a Jericho, a Sting even. Like, he's not one of those guys. And then I look at this match, as you say with Miro, what's he done since he's debuted? Essentially, Kevin, in the past 4 months on Dynamite, this is what Miro's done. He's thrown Kip Sabian into a garage door. He's been a part of, in some capacity, an Arcade Anarchy match with the Best Friends. He's had a match with Darby Allin, which he ended up winning, and now he's the champion facing Lance Archer. So, one thing with this match, I've seen people on Twitter, this is the usual thing with wrestling Twitter and AEW, to be fair. People on Twitter making Miro versus Lance Archer seem as though it's as big as Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 28. People being like, oh my god, this is the match I've been waiting for. Oh my god, stacked, bro. And it's like, okay, it's Rusev and Archer. Like, yes, I'm more interested in this match than I am for two random 5-foot skinny guys wrestling, just because these guys are a bit bigger and larger than life, supposedly. But even then, Lance Archer's ceiling is this, and Miro, his ceiling should be higher, but his ceiling seems to be this at the moment. So I don't even know, Kevin. I don't know what to make of this. Like,
I guess all wrestling fans in 2015, when Miro was coming out with a tank against John Cena, they were thinking, oh my god, I can't wait to get Rusev versus Lance Archer from New Japan. Oh, can't wait. I guess that's the thing. But, I mean, this is technically the second biggest title in the company.
yeah.
And, I mean, you could say the women's title is the second biggest title. That's fine. So this is, like, a really important championship. It should be one of the 3 or 4 most important matches. But sadly, it's going to take a backstage to Sting and his grandson, the Young Bucks, and the Invisible Hand of AEW, and then the American Dream, and then the women's match, the Britt Baker and Shida, and then the main event. So there's like 5 or 6 matches ahead of this one, and it's the second biggest title in the company.
Well, Kevin, maybe AEW is going to make Lance Archer the first ever TBS champion when they move there. You never know. You never know.
Oh. Yeah, we're going to have Mike Tyson sleeping while he's presenting that title?
Yep. But Kevin, this is long-term storytelling. In January of 2016, Rusev was holding a TV monitor on Raw, and he said that I'm the TV champion. Therefore, 5.5 years later, when Rusev/Miro wins the TNT title on Dynamite, Miro predicted this in a true bit of long-term storytelling, pal.
Oh yeah, Miro knew about AEW, pal, before all of us. He knew before Tony Khan.
Exactly. Miro is... But, like, you mentioned this thing about Rusev, and it's like, this was the guy who was having, like, one of the best segments of the 2010s on Raw with The Rock in 2016. This guy was 2015, whatever. He was so cool. He was awesome. He had Lana. It was on the best acts going. And now he's throwing Kip Sabian into garage doors on Dynamite. And he just happened to win a match last week to become champion. It's like, I don't know, Kevin. I don't know.
Yeah, he's playing video games on Twitch, still talking about how WWE wrestlers can't do
it. That's great. So, unless there's anything else you want to say, I think we're ready to move on to our Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker, pal.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so this match, I mean, I've said this, and I think it was the things AEW need to improve video, but when it comes to Hikaru Shida, she's a good wrestler, objectively. She's good at what she does, but is she good enough to have been a world champion in a company, like a mainstream number 2 in the world wrestling promotion like AEW? Is she good enough to have held the title for a year straight? And to me, the answer is objectively no. Like, Sheeta's good, don't get me wrong, don't try and cancel me on Twitter, but I don't think she's good enough to have held the title for a year straight and been the flag bearer for the division. I think this match against Britt Baker, Kevin, I don't know what you think, I will get your thoughts in a moment, but I think Britt Baker has to win this match, then they can do Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker and Tay Conti, etc. That's what I think.
Absolutely. First of all, I like Hikaru Shida as well. I think she's been a great women's champion. I liked her a lot better than Riho.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I just think Shida, like, nothing against her, she had a long reign. I think her reign has come to an end. I think Britt Baker has to win the title here. For a lot of people, this is AEW's last straw with the women's division. In a lot of people's minds, like, they're not going to give the women another chance if Britt Baker doesn't win. I don't see a world where Britt Baker doesn't. I just don't see it happening. Britt Baker has to win the title. She's literally the biggest female star that AEW has. And she's been their biggest women's star since AEW started in 2019. They just, for whatever reason, they've gone in a different direction. But now Britt Baker's proven herself from all aspects. She's had great matches with a ton of women. Thunder Rosa, most notably, in the main event of Dynamite a couple months ago. They killed it. And she's been consistently one of the best overall characters on the show. She's one of the few people in AEW that can tell a story and can be entertaining and compelling. Those interviews she does with Tony Schiavone are really good. You know, they're not must-see TV, but they're really good promos. And she's marketable. You know, she has cool merchandise. She's a real-life dentist, so I'm sure a lot of people find that attractive. That's a bit of a thing. So,
Yeah.
she's got it all. What more could you ask for from a superstar in Britt Baker? Like if Vince McMahon had Britt Baker in his company, she'd probably be like a 4 times champion. She'd be like Alexa Bliss. She'd be like running the show.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, she'd be a bigger star than her boyfriend Adam Cole if she was in WWE.
God,
Oh,
yeah.
whoa, whoa, oh, shots fired. But yeah, Sheeta, this match is going to be great. Sheeta can wrestle. Britt Baker can wrestle. Sheeta's in the ring. Her in-ring skills are better than Baker, but Britt Baker's the total package.
Yes, Britt Baker has it factor, so to speak. And the fact that she hasn't been champion yet, but we've seen Sheeta versus Nyla Rose for like 6 separate months as a storyline. To me, that's borderline unforgivable. So, yeah, with that being said, Britt Baker should be winning this match. She well and truly, it's her time to win. So, hopefully she gets the win here. If not, I mean, where do you go from there? Sheeta versus Nyla Rose at Fyter Fest 2021? Like, come on, Kevin. Come on. Come on.
Well, they'll pluck a women's wrestler off of an indie scene or Stardom or something, and we'll get that Sheeta versus like the Stardom champion or something.
Yeah, I guess. So that's what's happening there. Then we can move on to this match, which this is a match, I'll be honest, I'm most looking forward to, Kevin. The Stadium Stampede 2. Okay, the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. Personally, I absolutely love Stadium Stampede 1. That was my favorite AEW match of 2020. I thought that whole thing was just a stack of fun. It was the most fun I had watching a wrestling match, basically most of all last year. So, hopefully, Stadium Stampede 2 can either recreate that magic or at least have a different take on the Stadium Stampede. I don't know what they're going to do, Kevin, but let's hope it's good.
I think this will be good. I don't see a road where it's not. I don't see that path. I think it's going to be really good. You have a babyface Inner Circle going up against just the dastardly heel MJF and Tully Blanchard. There's a lot of characters here. There's a lot of star power. This is maybe the second most important, maybe even the most important. For a lot of people, this match is probably the main event of the show. A lot of people are going to look at it that way. Will it go on last? Probably not. But it's going to be awesome. The first one was great. This time, we're going to have live fans in attendance. I wonder how that element is going to play into how they do this match. I don't know what to expect. And I think that's a good thing with wrestling matches. When you don't know what to expect, it's never a bad thing, in my opinion.
Definitely. We've joked several times throughout this preview alone about, what's going to happen with, say, the Cody and Go-Go match. How, Cody's going to be crying in the ring, Brandy will be crying, holding a baby bump, and, we talked about that earlier. But, this match, it's going to go for, 30 minutes, but it's going to be actually a good 30 minutes. Not just, these guys wrestle in the ring really well. It's going to be a fun 30 minutes of just sports entertainment, which is a good thing. So, hopefully it's really good. I have no doubt it will be. Last year's one was amazing. This one should be a stack of fun as well. I think, personally, this is going to main event. I think that, because they record these, a day or two before they actually air the pay-per-view live. And just like last year, where the world title match wasn't the greatest, even though Moxley and Brody Lee, by comparison to this year's main event, is much better. I just think they're going to tape this match a day or two before, Kevin, and they're going to go, this was amazing, this is main eventing. That's what I think, at least, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
We definitely will, Kevin.
Yeah, we'll see.
Definitely will.
You want to go into the main event there, pal?
Yep, well, our main event, as we've got, I'll be nice about this. We've got Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Championship in a triple threat match against Orange Cassidy and Park. So that's the triple threat match.
We've got Kenny Omega with the invisible hand of professional wrestling and Don Callis. Can't forget that.
Great. But yeah, Omega's taking on the Soul Monster and Adrian Neville. This match, look, I've seen people, notably, your Tranquilo Club, those types, make videos about, why Orange Cassidy main eventing a pay-per-view is a really good thing. I think the logistics of Orange Cassidy, a guy who's supposedly so over with fans, or at least the AEW diehard audience who attends the shows, I think him main eventing, that's cool and all. Good, amazing for him, the person, that's completely dope. But I think as an AEW product, Kevin, I don't know if you'll agree, I'll get your thoughts in a moment. I think having this guy main eventing your biggest pay-per-view of the year is a bit okay. It's like Santino gets over in 2012 and you have him main event WrestleMania. That's what I think.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of a good analogy when you look at it. There's some holes I could poke in it, but we'll be here all day. The one thing I have to say about this main event is it's just disrespectful at this point that we haven't seen Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Like AEW should be embarrassed that they've fumbled the Kenny Omega and Hangman Page story.
No, hold up. Devil's advocate. They're waiting for fans to come back to do that. What do you think about that take? Because that's probably what's going to be the counter to that one.
Hell, you could do it twice. Who cares? You do Kenny Omega and Page at what? You do Kenny Omega and Page here. You got 5,000 fans in attendance, and you find a creative finish, and then you run it back at All Out in front of 15,000 people in Chicago. You know I mean that's the way Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. That's two of AEW's biggest stars. You can do that match at 2 straight pay-per-views. It's not the end of the world. They're not copying WWE by having a pay-per-view rematch. They can find some way to do it. Definitely. It's just embarrassing that it was All Out in August of 2020. The Kenny Omega Hangman Page story kind of came to a head, and they kind of separated, and we've seen nothing from it. Ever since then, Hangman Page has been sitting in a bar with John Silver approaching him to join the Dark Order, and then he's in backstage segments with the Young Bucks and Tony Schiavone, and Tony Schiavone's like, "Hangman, what do you think about this?" And then you got the Young Bucks telling Hangman that he shouldn't be drinking beer. That's what he's been doing since then, and he's done nothing. But they're gonna pluck him, and they're gonna do the match at All Out, and it's gonna be Kenny Omega versus Hangman. It's gonna be a great match, but the build-up is gonna be terrible. It's literally just gonna be, oh, Hangman is a big star because we say he is, and you have to believe that Hangman and Kenny is a big feud, is big personal storyline because 18 months ago they didn't like each other on an episode of Dynamite when they were tag team champions. Hangman dropped from the apron and didn't refuse to tag him. That's what we're going to build the story on, or 3 years ago on an episode of BTE, Marty Scurll and Hangman, they yelled at Kenny Omega. What is the story going to be,
Well, that goes to that whole long-term storytelling, revisionist history thing. So that, Kevin, come late July, when Omega's just finished having his match with Christian Cage, and Omega's defended the title successfully against someone like Scorpio Sky on Dynamite. Then when it's All Out time come August and Omega needs an opponent, Adam Page will confront him and everyone will be like, oh my god, long-term storytelling. When the two haven't interacted all year. And people are going to look back, oh my god, look at this time a year ago when, as you say, Hangman dropped down from the apron in their tag match. Look at this time 3 years ago in BTE. And they're going to really make it seem like this narrative has been non-stop going for 3 to 5 years. When in reality, it's like, oh, well, they just thrown Page and Omega on All Out because that's what they need to do. Which, that leaves us with this match, Kevin. Omega against Orange Cassidy and Park. Now, Orange Cassidy, we've talked about this. He had a lot of momentum, be that a good thing or a bad thing, after he beat AEW's biggest star 2 straight times in 2020. And then they did pretty much nothing with him for 6 months, and now he's here. Now he's in the world title match of the pay-per-view. Okay. Okay. I guess that's the thing, pal.
Yeah, he beats the biggest star in AEW, one of the 10 greatest wrestlers to ever live. And he drowns that wrestler in orange juice and vodka. And then he's done nothing since then, and now he just gets a title match. I don't know. I don't know about this main event. I can't get around to it.
And then, Kevin, Park's thing was that he started the Death Triangle. He got stuck in Europe for 6 months because of coronavirus. And then he's kind of been on AEW TV kind of sparingly. And then now he's in the world title match. Because there was a match with Pac and Cassidy on Dynamite this past week where one of them nearly got a concussion or something. And there was a messy finish. And then they made it a triple threat. And it's okay. The match will be really good. I'm not saying the in-ring work won't be that good, but moves are moves, Kevin. You've seen a million moves done in pro wrestling. What makes this match stand out above the rest? What about this match is going to make you 3 years down the line go, damn, I was emotionally invested in that.
Right, exactly. I agree. And what's the build up here? Okay, Orange Cassidy and Pac, they had a match, a year ago at Revolution 2020? Or was it 2 years ago almost, at Full Gear 2019?
It was All Out. It was All Out 2019, they had a match. And then they had that Iron Man match a week before Revolution 2020.
No, the one that Pac and Cassidy had. When was that?
Cassidy,
Revolution?
Yes. Full Gear, I think. I think something like that. Yeah.
So Full Gear 2019, they have this match where you have this angry Neville is like getting upset. He's getting triggered at this goofball Orange Cassidy, and that we're relying on that. Like that's the buildup. And then Omega and Pac, yeah, they had this great Iron Man match. Great, it was a great match. I loved it. One of my favorite AEW matches. But that's the build up here, I guess. And then you have Don Callis telling Pac that he'd never make it in the big time in WWE. Like, what is the build up here?
But this right here, this is exactly when Vince Russo describes the difference between a booker and a writer in wrestling. This is the ultimate booker type match. You take a bunch of good in-ring workers, put them together, and rely upon the wrestlers to concoct some sort of story, and then hope the match is great and makes up for it. Instead of writing a really compelling, captivating storyline to really make you care and make general people care, this is just a booker-type match. Oh, we're going to throw Omega, Cassidy, and Pac in a match? Hell yeah, it sounds good. They'll have a really good match at Double or Nothing. That's great. Good. And then I'm sure Tony Khan will be clapping backstage. Oh my god, Dave is going to love that match. Like, that's what this is.
Yeah. But yeah, you book it like it's UFC or something. Like, oh, these two fighters have a great fight. Let's put it on pay-per-view.
It's like that's everything. Like the whole point with wrestling is trying to make people care. I guess that's not the case anymore. Kevin, I don't know. Omega's winning this match. I don't think there's much conjecture to that. I don't know. If this main events and they close the show with just Omega and the Young Bucks, and you've got Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson standing tall in the ring, Don Callis, it's like, is this really the direction this company needs to be going? That's the question I ask, but. Yeah.
We'll either get that ending where you have Don Callis on the invisible hand of the AEW champion, and then you have, Hangman Page will come out with a beer, and the Young Bucks will slap the beer out of his hand, and then Hangman will walk away depressed, and that'll be the big tease to end the show.
Yeah, and then there'll be some callback, and it's like, oh my god, look at this. Look at Being the Elite, episode 127, when Hangman Page was drinking a beer, and they did this exact same thing in the bar in Rancho Cucamonga. You had Matt Jackson slap the beer out of Hangman's hand. Then at Double or Nothing 2021, they did that same thing. Oh my god, AEW is so immense with long-term storytelling. Like, that's probably the type of thing we'll get. So, yeah. Like, anything else, Kevin?
Well, let me just recap this card for you. Yeah. So, essentially, we have a, what's the word I'm looking for? We have a pioneer, a social justice warrior, a civil activist in Cody Rhodes taking on a boxer from the UK. You got, hopefully, Britt Baker winning her title.
Yep.
You got, Kenny Omega taking on Solo Man and Pac and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
What is the identity of Double or Nothing? Like, what are people going to say in 7 years after this show? Well, what do you think people are going to look back on the most?
Stadium Stampede being really fun, but even then, is it going to top the first one? Is it going to be remembered like the first one? I don't know. And outside of that, I guess Moxley and Eddie Kingston winning the tag titles, and that's legitimately it. I don't think Nelson Mandela, Cody Rhodes ending racism and beating a go-go is going to really do much to make people remember this show, honestly. And Britt Baker ending a Sheeta reign that's gone on 9 months too long. I don't know if that's the solution either. So, yeah, Kevin, I think we've previewed this in pretty compelling detail. I'm sure we'll get a few dislikes because we actually didn't lie about the card, but nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. For fun, let me ask you this. What do you think, how do you think people are going to remember this American Dream Cody and Anthony Ogogo story in 10 years?
Hopefully they look back on it as like the meme it is. Hopefully we don't have videos being made of a look back at Cody Rhodes and they're talking with reverence about how great this pioneer social justice activist Cody Rhodes was, talking about how inspirational he was and how in 2023 Cody and Brandy's baby boy pinned bloody Brian Cage on Dynamite. Hopefully that's not the case, but look, I don't know. I think Cody will be looked back upon probably by AEW hardcore fans as a pioneer, but to anyone with, who's objectively looking at it, he'll be looked back upon as a meme, I think. But
I hope so. Yeah.
But yeah.
I hope so. I just picture people that are like going to be 45 in 10 years. They're just like, oh man, that promo from Cody, man, that changed the way I view life. I can't picture anyone saying that.
That's gonna be one of those segments I look back upon in the same way as I do when one of my real life friends sends me a clip of Santino Marella with the Cobra as Jinder Mahal's playing the flute on SmackDown in like 2012. I'm thinking like this is so embarrassing. Please God don't share this with anyone else. I'm gonna be embarrassed by more people. Like I think that Cody promo is gonna be looked back upon like that. It was that level of bad. It was like if people see this in my real life, they're gonna genuinely make fun of me, and that's embarrassing. So yeah. With that being said, Kevin, I think we've talked about this enough. I want to get out of here. Double or Nothing 2021. Overall, Kevin, before we go, what match are you most looking forward to?
I cannot wait for Brandy and her baby bump crying when Cody's getting pinned by Anthony Ogogo. Can't wait, pal.
Now, genuinely though, that match I'm most looking forward to because of all these memes. Like, I'm actually looking forward to the match because of the memes. Like,
yeah, realistically, it's either that match or the Stadium Stampede. Honestly, like those. Those are the two matches I'm looking forward to. And the Cody Rhodes match, I'm not looking forward to because I can't wait to see who wins. I'm actually looking forward to see what the hell they do with the Pinnacle and Inner Circle match, though. That's going to be exciting. That's must-see. That's the one must-see match from this pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the one match with some remnant of a story, even though some would argue it doesn't need to be happening because they did Blood and Guts, aka War Games, 2 weeks ago. But nonetheless, that's been the preview. I've tried to wrap this up about 5 times now. We keep blabbering. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sub to Elite Heat if you haven't already. If you made it through the video and you haven't hit the like button, come on, hit the like button. So, yeah, like, comment,
come on, man.
Come on. You guys know the drill.